There's a certain type of person who sees confidence and assumes you must be arrogant. Then there's another type, one who sees quiet, assumes weakness, and mistakes property lines for invitations. Karen was both. I moved into the neighborhood under the radar. No welcome party, no flyers, no awkward introductions. Just keys in hand and the quiet satisfaction of knowing I didn't just own the house. I owned the entire block. Not metaphorically, legally. 10 years ago, I made my first fortune in systems architecture. Instead of sinking it all into a single mansion, I bought a modest neighborhood development out of foreclosure. It included the homes, the land, and the infrastructure for an HOA that had collapsed after years of mismanagement. I kept things quiet. I renovated slowly, rented a few houses, sold one or two under strict clauses, and I kept one for myself. Dead center, no frills, surrounded by hedges, fences, and silence. I wanted peace. But Karen never asked for permission to invade peace. She demanded compliance with her own idea of it. The first time we crossed paths, she wasn't curious. She was confrontational. "You need to move that trash bin off the curb," she snapped, sunglasses perched like daggers. "It's been there for 47 minutes. "Noted," I replied, even though I'd placed it on the curb exactly 15 minutes prior. She blinked. "And tenants aren't allowed to park overnight on the left side of the street. It clogs traffic." "I'm not a tenant," I said. Her lips curled. "Well, renters are not. We follow the same rules here. The HOA guidelines are clear." I smiled faintly. "I know. I wrote them." She didn't laugh. Instead, she turned, muttered something about reporting me, and marched down the street. I let her. Over the next few weeks, Karen escalated. She left notices on my door, fake violation slips typed in Comic Sans. She took photos of my lawn from behind her bushes. She cornered one of my tenants, an elderly woman, and told her I didn't seem like the kind of man who understood neighborhoods. At one point, she even emailed the HOA, yes, the one I administrated under a pseudonym, asking if that guy in the gray house had been screened properly. I forwarded it to myself and chuckled. But the final straw came one Thursday morning. I was walking my dog past a few of the rental properties I owned when I saw Karen standing on my driveway, clipboard in hand, talking to a city inspector she had apparently summoned. "She's filing a nuisance claim?" the inspector asked, confused. "For what exactly?" Karen turned to me. "For excessive occupancy, unapproved fencing, improper signage, whatever applies." I tilted my head. "Interesting, because not only is this my property, Karen, it's all my property." She squinted. "Excuse me." I reached into my folder. Yes, I had a folder, Years of Silent Battles Teach You to Be Prepared, and pulled out the full land deed and plot breakdown. This house, that house, the one behind yours, every home on this block. I own them all. And the HOA? I'm the sole active administrator. You don't outrank me. You don't even register. She looked like she'd swallowed a spoonful of drywall. The inspector nodded slowly, thanked me, and walked off. Karen didn't. "You're lying," she hissed. "No one person can own a whole block. That's illegal." "Actually," I said, "it's public record." She tried to fight it, of course. She tried to organize a board coup in a Facebook group that only had 5 members, all of whom I paid rent rebates to. She tried filing an injunction that went nowhere because, legally, she had no standing. But the moment that broke her wasn't legal. It was personal. One morning, I hosted a small neighborhood coffee social. Nothing fancy, just a few tenants, some muffins, soft jazz, and good conversation. Karen showed up, uninvited, demanding answers. "I just want to know," she snapped to the group, "how you all feel about a landlord pretending to be a neighbor." One of the older ladies sipped her tea and replied, "We love him. He keeps our rents stable, the lawns trimmed, and he listens." Another added, "He even shoveled our sidewalks last winter." Without asking, Karen's face cracked like old paint. She tried one last stunt, filing a noise complaint during one of my tenant meetings, claiming it was an unauthorized event. By that point, the officer who showed up knew me by name. He shook his head. "Ma'am, this isn't an HOA enforcement issue. This is a private gathering on private property. Multiple properties, in fact." She muttered something about corruption and retreated. A month later, She moved out, listed the house under market value, and vanished. No bouvier, no notice, just silence. The block breathed easier. Since then, I made a few changes. I simplified the HOA rules, added a few benches under the big sycamore tree, and put up a discreet plaque at the entrance that says, Walker Estates, privately owned community. Sometimes I catch new visitors staring at the sign, puzzled. And sometimes, just sometimes, I see Karen's SUV cruise by at half speed before disappearing again. I don't wave. I just walk my dog and smile. Because the best revenge isn't loud. It's not cruel. It's not even dramatic. It's quiet ownership. And the knowledge that no matter how loud someone screams about authority, they still have to live by your rules when you own the block.